Hello, welcome to another tutorial. We're getting close now to being kind of complete and where you can then take the game off, create as many enemies as you like, and kind of go on from there kind of thing really. So today we're going to look at the start of, continuing on with enemy combat. And today we're going to make sure that because at the moment, let's do a very dodgy example. So if we look at our game, we can see that when our skeleton character walks across, we can attack him. That will hurt him. And when we attack him again, he's gone. But what we would like, if we can do this, if we attack him once, if we attack him once, he then, after we walk off, so let's say, I know, very dodgy walking off, but there we go, good flip, that he now continues to walk. He doesn't just stay with an angry face, so he resumes his walk cycle, and currently in the animator, as you can see, nothing is happening, because I think we're stuck here, personally. So if we click on Skeleton Idol, yeah, we can see that it's just frozen here on this animation. We might need to loop this animation. We'll have a look first of what we need to do. Actually, this we can make sure we can loop that animation. So you can make sure. I never can remember where I save any of our bits and pieces. I'm always like, save it here, and then no idea what I'm doing. I've looked in sprites. There we go. Animations, enemies, and so skeleton hit. Yeah. So what we're going to do is make sure we just check loop time. Actually no, because we're going to hit once, and we don't want that hit to then loop over and over when he's been hit. I'm going to uncheck that actually, just for now, and keep that like that. Yeah. So I'm just thinking in my head, and I think I'm not going to check loop time simply because I want this animation to only play once and then go back to his idle. And that's what we can do now. So we're out of play. And so what we're going to do is make sure, and let's drag animate down here so we can see what's happening. And we're still concentrating on our enemy. And we're going to make sure we do a transition from the hit to idle. So once we've gone to hit, we can go back to idle. We want to make sure on this animation, or on this transition, sorry, that has exit time has been checked. So we want him to go through his hit process, then go back to idle. So if we press play, there we go. He gets hit and he goes back. Awesome. That's looking good. Cool. So once we've done that, we can then continue with our combat, so we're in the right place. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a new parameter, or a new parameter, if I'm not going to say that weird, and this one is going to be a ball. And this one's going to state if we are or not, we are not in combat. So it's going to be a true and false statement, so I'm going to say in combat, and we can start like that. We are going to make sure we're going to say false for now, and then we'll figure this out as we go. We are then going to go from, we're going to look at our idle skeleton to walk skeleton transition. At the moment, we don't have a condition. Here, we're going to put in combat. So it's all going to rotate around our idle and our walk. So if he gets hit, he'll then go straight back to idle. If we then jump, like run away, for example, just do one hit and run away, he'll then go, right, am I in combat? Yes or no? No, because the player has moved on. I'll go back to walk. If he is still here, I will stay in idle, and then from there we will add in our attack animation by the end of this video. So what I'm going to do is go to add condition. We're going to make sure that we have in combat, in combat is true. We're going to always stick it with false because at the moment he's not going to be in combat when he's just doing his kind of perimeter walk. And then obviously when he does become into combat, when we do jump in, we're going to make sure he is in combat mode. So let's make sure if combat is false. I'm just going to make sure that starts off with true, and then we can maybe script around that. That might make life a little bit easier. Oh, sorry, got a lovely big cup of tea there. It was just staring at me. Lovely. Okay, so we'll start on true just to make sure it all works. Let's go to our script. So what I'm going to do is quickly command and save this. And then we can go to our scripts. Let's find skeleton and open this up. Cool. So we are in our script. So what we need to make sure of, so this is all of our hit and all of our damage. So if we look under here, we should already have an anim. Cool, lovely. So what we're going to do is trigger this ball. So if we say anim dot set ball, and we can say in combat is then true. So then I might make it false there. We'll make sure that works. Probably uncheck it for now actually, and we can test around with that. So anim.setBall in combat true. Let's make sure he stays in idle state with this. So if we save that, so straight away, because my player is here, he should automatically go to in combat. Let's check if this works. Let's press play. I'm just going to stick animator up there. Because he hasn't been hit yet. Right, okay. So he hasn't been hit yet. So if I just quickly drag this up to here. So he should go to in combat as soon as he's attacked. There we go. He does. As we can see, he's gone to in combat and then he's going around and around on the idle. Okay, so obviously if we're in his kind of spatial awareness, we're going to want to make sure that in combat is constantly on, not just when he's been attacked. But we will get around that. I think let's keep that like that for now, and then we might have to do a little bit of a fix at the end just to make sure even when we're in his like vicinity of a couple of units, for example, we can make sure that his in combat is true. But this is working fine. This is working absolutely perfect. Cool. So after we've done that, we need to go back into our skeleton enemy script and let's create a new variable. So we need to make sure that the skeleton enemy is aware of our player now. Okay, because at the moment he's only aware of the hit, is only aware of the hitbox of our player and not the player himself. So this would trigger the enemy to then go into in combat mode. So what we can do is we can say protected, and we can say, if we call up that player script, there it is, and then we can call this underscore player, so we know what we're doing. We're not full stop what we're doing. Lovely jubbly. We then can say in void start, we can add so I'm going to sneeze. Oh, excuse me. There we go. No way of editing that out. Player equals game object. And that game object is we're going to go find with... Oh, hang on. Find game object with tag. And then we're going to find the tag of player. We are then going to say get component, and then we can say the player script. Cool. Let's quickly save that, because what we have said, we've stated where our player is. We've then said it's a game object, find with tag player. We haven't marked that out. So if we go into our game, click on our player. Oh, that compile will probably have a kick off about the player thing. And as we can see, our tag is currently untagged, but there is automatically a tag there for player. So we can make sure that is tagged as player. We don't need to worry about those. So, cool. That's got our player tags. That should work fine and dandy. Tagged our player as our player. So let's have a look at putting him into combat in movement. So let's make some space under here. And what we can say is that we need him to be at a distance of, we could say 2 units, couldn't we? So we could say, for example, so we need to, let's do some pseudo so we understand this. I say, so distance between player and enemy. Okay, so if we have the distance between player and enemy, we are identifying how far away the player has to be before our enemy becomes in combat and begins to attack our player. Okay, so if we call that a float, that's probably the easiest thing to do. And then we can say float distance. Let's just call it distance. That would be easier. Equals a vector 3 dot distance should pop up. There we go. Of transform dot local position, because we don't do the world position. Will definitely confuse matters. And then comma underscore players dot transform dot local position. And then we can semicolon that. So so we established the distance between a player and the enemy. We then need to say what that distance is going to be. So what the distance is going to be. So the distance could be, what did I say, a couple. So let's try 2. So if brackets distance is greater than 2.0f, because it's a float, we can say is hit equals false. And we can also say anim dot set ball is in combat false. Okay, so if we're greater than 2, we're not in combat. I've missed all the brackets out on this. Let's clean this up. Cool. So if we, would that be it? Let's have a look at this. So we're saying the distance between the player and enemy is a float distance of a vector 3 distance. So we're grabbing the transformer local position of our enemy, and then we're grabbing the player transforms local position, and we're saying if the distance is greater than 2f, is false, so we can't hit him from further away than 2 units. Obviously, if you're doing a shoot, you can create any kind of distance you like. That's absolutely fine. You might even want to create that a variable at the top to make it easier to change in the inspector. And then anim.setBall in combat is false as well. So the skeleton himself or enemy himself won't be in combat or attack mode. Let's have a look at this. So I think we have to edit this up here. If we have a look at this, anim.getZoneAnimator state information is name idle skeleton. So this is saying at any point go back to idle. So this is why I think we could have an issue initially. Let's have a look. Let's make sure this starts. I'm going to put in combat as initially. I'm going to save this, put in combat as true. Press play and let's see what happens. Cool, that's working. So I can, it doesn't matter, it'll still get hit by the hitbox. Click attack. Oh, and it kills him in 1. Interesting. Okay. Cool, let's take him out of in combat. So he's walking, gets attacked. Cool, so he's not going to in combat at the moment. Cool, so in combat is now not checked. Okay, no worries. That means there is something to do with this bit of code up here. Let's say we can say let's call up that just that anim. So anim dot get ball, and then that would be in combat, and then we can set that to equals false. And that should be fine. Save that. Click onto this. Press play. Come on, compile. There we go. Press play. Gets attacked. He's not in combat mode though. Interesting. Maybe he needs to start in combat. And he just dies. Interesting. So if we start him in combat. So let's try this. So I'm in his vicinity already. He's not clicking out of combat straight away. He should be in combat. Because I'm there. That local position should work. Let's have a little test of this, shall we? Let's drag this down to here. And I'm going to drag my player out of this, drag him over there. Press play. So if we look at animator, cool, he's not in combat. If we move over, oh, let's go on to, let's move animator up to the top here. So if I do dodgy jump over, he's then not in combat. Oh man, that's annoying. He's not recognizing the tag, is he? Annoying. Okay. let's have a look. So let's start him off as false, and then let's press play again. This is a good part of it though, a good part of experimenting. So if we go over here, press, does he become in combat? He does not. Okay, so we know that we have an issue here with our script, because it initially was working, wasn't he? So set the ball, if the float distance, and then get ball at the top here. Interesting. So if distance is greater than 2f, is hit equals false, and set ball is combat is false, yeah. But it's not now measuring him at all, and won't, even when he puts him hit, it won't put him back into combat. So he gets hit and then should go straight to idle. Has exit time. And it should be here. He's in combat. False. Go to walk. Ah, okay, so is he even going to walk? Let's have a look at these animations here. So he's not recognising the tag at all. Even though he's getting attacked. Only going to idle for 1. Let's test that let's test that again. So no in combat. So something is clicking him out of combat straight away. That's fine. If he goes back to walk, he's not in combat. So we set combat to true if he gets hit. So something is overriding this, isn't it? Cool. Okay. So we might have to do a debug for that. What I'm going to do is what am I going to do? So yeah, he's not paying any attention to me at all. Cool, he's not noticing the distance. It's the distance that he's just not knowing. It could be any day of the week to that skeleton and you wouldn't know. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up with a fix for that, and we'll fix that later. Doesn't matter. I'll have to have a read through, may have to change the script around, something like that. It doesn't matter. So, even though that's not working, it doesn't matter because we can still continue on and fix some other bits. So, what we can do is, while we're here, we can set up our attack. So if we go to assets, skeleton, attack, there we go, there's his attack. And we need to cut this up. So if we do the standard, go to multiple, click apply, click sprite editor, slice, automatic slice. Lovely, might have to change animations of those again. Click apply. Lovely jubbly. Let's go to animations. Let's click on skeleton idle. Let's go brand new, create new clip. And let's make sure it's saved in the right place. Animations, enemy, there we go. Let's just change this to attack underscore skeleton. Click save. Oh, actually, I can change the attack quickly just to 32 units. Click apply. And then I can select each of my attacks. That's one whopping great attack, look at that. So cool, so that's a fair amount there. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So what I'm going to do, click record, go back on here, drag all these guys in. What's that, 17? Let's try. Let's record that, see what 16 samples looks like. Well, actually, it's try 18 samples actually, because it'll miss out a whole frame. Go back to our scene, and if we press play, there we go. Oh, I like the little jump he has there. I quite like that. Quite violent as well. Lovely. So there we go. That has got his attack sorted. I like that he reverts back. Quite like the cartooniness of it. Actually, that works quite well. So now we've got that, we should be able to go into our animator and have our attack. And so, providing we get this work, well, I will get this working in our next video. I'm going to put attack here, and we can see what we need to do to get attack going. So what we need to do is create from idle, transition from idle to attack. So let's say in combat was working and he gets hit, he goes to idle state. We will then set him to go to his attack mode. Okay. And so what we can do is on the transition, we can add the condition in combat to true. We are going to probably, do we need none exit time? I don't know. If we go straight from idle, no, we could probably go straight to attack, couldn't we? So we'll uncheck has exit time. Duration on the settings as well, we can just change that to 0. So if we watch this, there we go. Nice transition there. Cool. So once we've done that, we can create a transition back from attack to idle. And that's it. That should be it. If we went back to, obviously, it might work, it might not work. I'm guessing it probably wouldn't work right now. So what I'm going to do is command save that. That's fine. We need to fix his in combat, but everything else has pretty much got itself sorted. At the moment, he's not going to any kind of attack mode because he's not noticing the distance. So that's okay though. So he would usually go to attack. If we went here, let's just quickly disable. What was the bit that did the damage? I think it's this. It's not picking up this very well. So I'm just going to sudo this out. And we'll sort out a distance later on. Don't worry. I'll have a fix. Cool. Let's quickly save this. See if we have an issue with it or not. Compile, compile, compile. Let's have a test. Let's press play. So obviously we don't have that on now, but he should go to in combat as soon as he's attacked. There we go. There we go. So that is working, but we want to get the distance sorted, because if I then move away, he's attacking me, which is brilliant. If I then move away, he's still attacking. So this is why we want the distance to be working. Okay. I will get back to you about, actually, I'm going to try something. I know this video is going on forever, but what I'm going to try very, very quickly, where did I sudo that code out? If we just try, so if we just quickly do a debug.log, then we can say we want the distance to give us some space for the distance. So I'm just going to change that to a capital D, so I know what I'm looking for, and then we can say plus distance. So it will give us the details of distance and how far we are away. Okay, so if we command save this, click back onto Unity, we can press play, and as you can see, the distance down here is 376, and we're looking for 2. So we're a good 374 of a float off that. So what we can do is localized position and transform position can be a bit funny in scripting. So what we can do is you've got something called normalized. So if we go transform.position or even transform.local position, let's try position and do dot normalized on each of these. So that should bring our fraction of our number down. So if not, we can even change this into an integer and then go from there. So if we have a look at this again, change it to normalized, save this. So it's all good, part of games design here. Or wicking out the old bugs. Let's play this again. And have a look at that distance again. So we've only got 1.4 here. 1.4, and if we walk over and jump into his area, then it goes to 1.3. So there is a clear change there. So all we can do is, if we edit our float, we should be able to have a fix of this, and it should be able to work. So let's change this to 1.4. So if the distance is higher than 1.4, his hit will be false, and he'll go back to his default animation of walking and idling. So let's save this. Make sure we've got the normalized added in there as well. We'll keep the distance as well, just as a good debug, as a clear kind of message board if we are in or we are out. And what we can do then is keep an eye on this. So if we zoom into this, and we can make sure that he will go to attack. So let's press play. So there we go, he's doing his normal walk cycle. So if I jump, cool. So he won't attack us at the moment because we haven't attacked him. We'll sort that out later. And then as soon as we attack, there we go, he's gone straight to attack. Fantastic, that's working. He's gone to in combat. Now here's the big tester. If we leave, let's go to 1.3. Come on, go to 1.3. Ah, he has. We can see he's idle in his walk because we've gone greater than 1.4. You can see that. He's just back to walking. Fantastic. That's all nice and working. I don't know if he's gone to attack now, because no, we haven't attacked him again. So there we go. He's back. So he's walking. Okay, so there it was. There's a fix after all. Cool. Fantastic. Yeah, cool. Lovely. Sorry that this video's gone on for so long, but hopefully you've been able to sort out this fix. Cool. Thank you. See you later.